Chapter 1. Childhood Dreams in Chicago. How Big Ambitions Begin. Small hello and welcome. Today, we will take a journey into the life of Michelle Obama. We will not only learn about her story, but also practice English along the way. This story is full of inspiration, lessons, and hope. It is perfect for learners who want to improve their English while discovering how one person can change the world. Many people think that success is only for the lucky. Some believe you must be born rich, famous, or powerful to achieve big things. But this is not true. Real success often starts in small places, with small steps. Michelle Obama's story is proof of this. She did not start in a big house or go to an elite school at first. She grew up in a small apartment in Chicago, with her parents working hard every day. Life was not easy, but she had dreams, and she worked for them. Imagine a young girl in a tiny apartment. She shares a room with her brother. Sometimes, the apartment feels crowded and noisy, but Michelle has a heart full of hope. She loves reading books. She writes in her notebook. She dreams of becoming someone important, someone who can make a difference. Even when life feels hard, she believes in herself. She knows that her future depends on her courage and her choices, not only her luck. Her parents teach her important lessons. They show her the value of hard work, honesty, and respect. Michelle learns that every small action matters. When she cleans her room, helps her mother, or studies late at night, she builds the habits that will help her later. This is the first secret of her success. Greatness does not appear suddenly. It grows from little actions repeated every day. In this video, we will follow Michelle's journey from a small apartment in Chicago to becoming the First Lady of the United States. We will see her struggles, her choices, and her victories. Along the way, we will practice English words, simple sentences, and easy grammar. This story is both educational and motivational. You will see that anyone from anywhere can dream big and achieve great things. So, get ready to imagine young Michelle reading her books by the window, thinking about her future. Get ready to see how a small dream can grow into a big life. You do not need to be born powerful to become powerful. You only need hope, effort, and the courage to keep going. Now let us move to the first step of Michelle's journey: education. This is where her story begins to change and where her small dreams start to open big doors. Chapter 2. Childhood Dreams in Chicago. Hello again, and welcome back. In this section, we will explore Michelle Obama's childhood. We will see how a small home and a loving family can create a foundation for greatness. This story will help you practice English while learning how hard work, discipline, and strong values lead to success. Michelle grew up in the South Side of Chicago. Her neighborhood was full of life. There were small houses, busy streets, and children playing everywhere. Her home was simple. It was not large, but it was full of love. Michelle lived there with her parents and her older brother, Craig. Her father, Fraser, worked long hours for the city. He drove a city bus every day. He did not make a lot of money, but he always showed love and care for his family. Her mother, Marion, stayed at home and worked hard to make the house clean and safe. She cooked meals, helped with homework, and supported her children's dreams. Even though the house was small, Michelle felt safe and happy. She had everything she needed: love, attention, and encouragement. Her parents taught her important lessons every day. They told her, work hard, be honest, respect others. Education is your key to the future. Michelle listened carefully. She understood that money was not the most important thing. Values, discipline, and effort were much more powerful. From a young age, Michelle loved to learn. She loved books. She read every day. She also loved music. She practiced the piano with patience, even when she made mistakes. While other children went outside to play, Michelle often stayed inside, finishing her homework or reading stories. Sometimes it was hard. She felt tired or lonely. Other children laughed at her for studying too much. Some said, "Why do you work so hard? You will never succeed." But Michelle did not give up. She remembered her parents' words and kept trying. She knew that discipline and effort would make a difference. Every page she read, every song she practiced, and every homework assignment she completed made her stronger. Slowly, she saw results. Her teachers noticed her intelligence and her focus. They encouraged her to aim high and believe in her abilities. Her parents also taught her the importance of responsibility. She learned to help her family. She helped her brother with small tasks and learned to care for others. These lessons shaped her character. Michelle began to understand that success was not about being the smartest or the fastest. It was about being disciplined, kind, and persistent. She learned that real power comes from hard work and values, not money or luck. Michelle also had big dreams. She wanted to go to a good school. She wanted to meet new people and learn new things. She dreamed of making a difference in the world one day. Sometimes the dreams felt too big for her small neighborhood, but she never stopped imagining. She knew that dreaming was the first step toward achieving. Her family's support was crucial. Her father sometimes drove her to the library so she could study more. Her mother encouraged her to ask questions and explore her ideas. Michelle learned that education was not only about school. It was about curiosity, effort, and the courage to try, even when things are difficult. Many children give up when life is hard. They stop dreaming. They think their small environment or limited money will block their future. Michelle saw the difference. She understood that effort and discipline could overcome challenges. While others complained, she worked. While others played, she learned. This contrast helped her grow stronger. By the time Michelle was a young teenager, her discipline and dreams were clear. She was no longer just a girl in a small apartment. She was a student with a purpose. She worked hard in school and challenged herself in every activity. She knew that her efforts now would open doors later. Her story in Chicago teaches us a big lesson. You do not need wealth to be successful. You need strong values, discipline, and support from people who believe in you. Small actions, repeated every day, create big changes. Every book she read, every piano lesson, and every homework assignment was a step toward her future. Michelle's childhood shows the power of determination and the importance of family. Even in a small home, with limited money, greatness is possible. She learned that her choices, her habits, and her dreams could shape her life. This is a message for everyone. Your environment does not define you. Your effort and values do. Now, with these lessons from her early life, Michelle was ready to take the next step. Her parents' belief in education pushed her to study even harder. This determination led her to the doors of great schools and new opportunities. Next, we will see how education became the key to her journey, opening the first doors to her big dreams. Chapter 3. The power of education. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will explore one of the most important parts of Michelle Obama's journey: education. We will see how studying hard, believing in yourself, and facing doubt can open doors to opportunities. This story will help you practice English while learning how determination and focus can change a life. Michelle loved learning from a young age, but she knew that loving school was only the first step. She had to work hard every day. In middle school, she studied for hours. She read books, wrote essays, and solved difficult problems. Sometimes it was not easy. She faced challenges that made her question herself. Some teachers were honest and encouraging, but others doubted her. They said things like, "Are you sure you can do this?" or "Maybe this is too difficult for you." Instead of giving up, Michelle listened carefully, but she did not let their doubt stop her. She believed in her abilities. She thought, "I can do this. I will try harder." She understood a very important lesson. Other people's doubts do not define you. Your effort, determination, and focus define your future. Every time she studied late at night or finished a difficult assignment, she proved to herself that she could overcome obstacles. Her parents continued to support her. Her mother reminded her, "Education is your key. It can open doors no one else can open." Her father encouraged her, saying, "Do not let fear or doubt stop you. Work hard, and the world will notice." These words became Michelle's guiding light. She realized that education was not just learning facts or reading books. Education was a way to build confidence, strength, and opportunity. As Michelle continued in school, she faced new challenges. Classes became harder, and some students did not always believe in themselves or in her. Sometimes she felt nervous before exams. Sometimes she wanted to take the easy way and stop studying. But she remembered her dreams. She remembered the small apartment in Chicago where she first imagined a bigger life. These memories gave her strength. She studied more, asked questions, and sought help when needed. Slowly, her efforts began to pay off. Teachers started to notice her intelligence and focus. They encouraged her to aim high. They helped her apply to good schools. Michelle worked on her applications carefully. She wrote essays with honesty and thoughtfulness. She prepared for interviews, showing both her knowledge and her character. At this time, some people still doubted her. Friends or classmates said, "Princeton is too hard for you. You are not ready." These words could have discouraged anyone. But Michelle stayed calm. She thought, "I will show them what I can do. I can reach this goal." She believed in the power of her own effort and her own education. Finally, her hard work was rewarded. Michelle was accepted into Princeton University, one of the most prestigious schools in the country. She had turned doubt into opportunity. She had proven to herself and to others that determination and learning can open doors that fear and uncertainty try to close. This moment was not only a reward for her studies, but also a symbol of hope for everyone who dreams big. Michelle's story teaches us an important lesson. Education is more than books. Education is a tool that allows you to overcome fear, doubt, and limitation. It gives you strength to reach for your dreams, no matter how impossible they seem. Every hour of study, every question asked, and every challenge faced is a step toward the future you want. Even after this success, Michelle's journey was not finished. Princeton brought new challenges. She had to adjust to a new environment, meet new people, and learn how to belong in a world that sometimes felt very different from her own. The path of learning never stops. Education opened the first doors for her, but new doors were waiting. Now, with her acceptance into Princeton, Michelle was ready to face the next chapter, discovering who she was and where she belonged. She would learn that success is not only about intelligence, but also about confidence, courage, and finding your voice in the world. Chapter 4. Finding Her Voice at Princeton. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will follow Michelle Obama as she arrives at Princeton University. This is a new world for her, full of opportunities, challenges, and lessons. While practicing English, we will also explore how confidence, courage, and self-acceptance can help you belong anywhere, even when you feel different. When Michelle first stepped onto Princeton's campus, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The buildings were large and beautiful. Students walked quickly, carrying books and laptops. Everyone seemed confident, dressed neatly, and speaking with ease. Michelle, a girl from Chicago's South Side, felt small and out of place. She noticed that there were very few students who looked like her. Sometimes she felt invisible. She wondered, do I belong here? Will they understand me? These feelings are common. Many students feel nervous when they enter a new school or meet new people. Some try to hide their differences. They stay quiet, hoping no one will notice them. At first, Michelle tried to do this too. She listened more than she spoke. She watched what others did and followed their example. But she realized that hiding would not help her grow. She wanted to be herself, even if it felt scary. One day, during a classroom discussion, Michelle felt the fear in her chest. The professor asked a question, and she knew the answer. For a moment, she thought about staying quiet. What if she made a mistake? What if people laughed? But then she remembered her parents' words. Believe in yourself. Your voice matters. She took a deep breath and spoke clearly. I think the solution is, she said, sharing her thoughts. The classroom went quiet for a second, and then some students nodded. The professor smiled. Michelle felt a rush of confidence. That small moment changed her. She learned that speaking up, even when it is difficult, gives her power. She realized that belonging is not about looking or sounding like everyone else. Belonging begins when you accept yourself. Michelle also faced cultural and racial differences outside the classroom. Some students made jokes that were not kind. Others asked questions that felt strange or even rude. At first, she felt hurt and unsure. She could have hidden or left. But she chose another path. She listened, learned, and responded with grace and confidence. She built friendships with people who respected her and learned to handle situations with courage. This journey was not easy. Sometimes she felt lonely. Sometimes she doubted herself. But with each challenge, she grew stronger. She joined clubs, met mentors, and found friends who shared her interests. She participated in debates, volunteered, and started to see that her voice could make a difference. Through these experiences, Michelle learned a very important lesson. Confidence does not come from never feeling afraid. Confidence comes from facing fear, speaking up, and being true to yourself. Silence may feel safe, but courage allows you to grow. Each time she raised her hand, shared an idea, or answered a question, she became more certain of her abilities. Michelle's time at Princeton was also a lesson in patience and persistence. Success is not instant, Belonging does not happen overnight. It is built step by step with practice, courage, and self-acceptance. Every challenge she faced helped her prepare for bigger challenges in the future. By the end of her Princeton years, Michelle had not only excelled academically, but had also discovered the power of her own voice. She had learned how to navigate an elite environment while remaining true to herself. She had faced fear, spoken with courage, and realized that her differences were not weaknesses. They were part of her strength. Her growth at Princeton laid the foundation for the next step in her journey: Harvard Law School. There, she would face new challenges, new opportunities, and the chance to use both her intelligence and her confidence to make a difference in the world. The courage she found on campus would guide her through every step ahead. Michelle's story teaches us that belonging is not about fitting in. It is about accepting who you are, speaking your truth, and having the courage to stand tall, even when it is difficult. These lessons are valuable for life, learning English, and following your own path to success. Chapter 5. Harvard Law and the Meaning of Service. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will follow Michelle Obama as she begins the next step of her journey: Harvard Law School. Here, we will see how ambition and hard work are important, but true success comes when we use our knowledge to help others. This story will help you practice English while learning a life lesson about purpose, compassion, and service. After graduating from Princeton, Michelle entered Harvard Law School. It was one of the most challenging environments she had ever faced. Classes were long, professors were demanding, and students came from all over the world. Everyone seemed ambitious and smart. At first, Michelle focused on grades, networking, and internships. She wanted to succeed and prove that she belonged in this prestigious school. She studied late at night, read many legal books, and worked on complex cases. Michelle enjoyed the challenge, but after some time, she began to feel something missing. She asked herself quietly, "Am I only learning to win? Or am I learning to make a difference?" This question grew louder every day. She realized that ambition and success were not enough. True fulfillment came from helping others. One day, Michelle had a turning point. She was volunteering at a legal clinic for people who could not afford lawyers. She met a woman who needed help understanding her legal rights. The woman was afraid, confused, and unsure what to do. Michelle explained the law in simple words. She listened carefully, offered guidance, and gave her hope. After that day, Michelle felt a deep sense of satisfaction. She realized that her work could change lives, not just impress people or build a career. This experience opened Michelle's eyes. She understood that real success is not about money, prestige, or awards. It is about using your knowledge and skills to help others, to solve problems, and to make the world better. She saw the difference between ambition and purpose, career and calling. Ambition focuses on self, purpose focuses on others. Winning can feel good, but service feels meaningful. Michelle continued to excel in her studies, but she never forgot this lesson. She sought opportunities to serve communities, mentor students, and give back. She realized that even in a high-powered career, helping people could be more rewarding than personal achievement alone. This mindset shaped the next steps of her life. During her time at Harvard, Michelle also learned important lessons about leadership. Leadership is not about controlling others or being the smartest in the room. Leadership is about listening, understanding, and empowering others. Every time she guided a client, volunteered, or supported a colleague, Michelle developed the skills that would later define her as a leader, mentor, and public figure. Her Harvard years were not easy. Some students still doubted her, and some professors pushed her to the limit. But Michelle learned to balance ambition with compassion. She worked hard, yes, but she also took time to help others. She discovered that real strength comes when you combine knowledge with empathy. By the time Michelle graduated, she was ready for more than a career. She was ready to make a difference in people's lives. She understood that success is not only measured by titles or money, but by the positive impact you have on others. This realization would guide her choices as she entered the professional world. After Harvard, Michelle returned to Chicago. She began her career as a lawyer, but she was determined to apply what she had learned about service and purpose. It was in Chicago where her path would cross with someone who shared her values, vision, and ambition: Barack Obama. Together, they would embark on a journey that combined partnership, leadership, and meaningful change. Michelle's story at Harvard teaches us an important lesson. Working hard is important, but using your knowledge to help others is what truly makes life meaningful. Success without purpose can feel empty. Success with service can change the world. Every small act of guidance, empathy, or support can have a ripple effect, touching lives in ways we may never fully see. Now, with her Harvard education and a heart full of purpose, Michelle was ready to face new challenges. She was about to enter the professional world, where ambition and service would meet. And it was in this world, in Chicago, that she would meet someone who would become a partner in life, work, and vision. Chapter 6. Meeting Barack Obama. Hello again. In this section, we will see a very special moment in Michelle Obama's life, meeting Barack Obama. This story is not only about love, but also about partnership, respect, and shared values. While practicing English, you will learn how two people can grow stronger together when they support and inspire each other. After returning to Chicago, Michelle began working as a young lawyer. She had studied hard, earned respect, and developed a strong sense of purpose. She was confident, professional, and ready to make a difference. One day, a new intern arrived at her office. His name was Barack Obama. He was intelligent, eager to learn, and full of ideas, but also a little nervous in his new position. Michelle was assigned to mentor him. At first, their relationship was professional. She taught him how to organize files, prepare for meetings, and interact with clients. But very quickly, they discovered something deeper: respect and understanding. They listened to each other, shared ideas, and laughed at small mistakes. They admired each other's intelligence and dedication. Michelle noticed that Barack had a unique way of thinking. He asked thoughtful questions and always considered the impact of his decisions. She respected that. Barack noticed Michelle's confidence and dedication. He admired her ability to balance ambition with empathy. They realized they shared common values, a belief in education, service, and the importance of making a difference. One afternoon, Michelle and Barack were working late on a project. They paused to talk about their experiences, their families, and their dreams. Barack said, "I want to help people, to change the world." Michelle smiled and replied, "Me too." but change begins with small steps, with discipline and care. In that moment, they connected deeply. They realized that they were not alone in their ambitions or their dreams. Their first meeting may have seemed simple, just mentor and intern. But it grew into something powerful. They discovered that true partnership is not only about working together. It is about supporting each other's growth, challenging each other, and sharing values. Working alone can bring success, but walking together can bring fulfillment, courage, and impact. Over time, their bond grew stronger. They began to spend more time together outside the office, discussing ideas, visiting communities, and exploring their shared vision for the future. They laughed, debated, and encouraged each other to reach higher. They learned that a partnership built on respect, trust, and shared purpose could make them better people, stronger leaders, and more compassionate human beings. Of course, it was not always easy. Both had demanding careers, ambitious goals, and challenging schedules. There were moments of stress, disagreement, and doubt, but each challenge made their connection stronger. They learned to communicate, compromise, and support each other through hard times. They realized that life is easier when you walk with someone who believes in you, someone who challenges you to be your best self. Michelle's story teaches us an important lesson. The people you choose to walk with in life can shape your journey. A true partner helps you grow, inspires you, and shares your vision. Alone, you may reach some goals, but together, you can reach far greater heights. The contrast is clear. Working alone can feel lonely and limited, while partnership brings encouragement, learning, and shared success. By the end of this chapter in her life, Michelle and Barack had formed a strong, life-changing bond. It was not just about romance. It was about connection, shared purpose, and mutual growth. They were ready to face life's challenges together, both in their careers and in their personal lives. As their relationship developed, Michelle and Barack supported each other's dreams. They faced obstacles, criticism, and tough decisions, but their partnership gave them strength. Their story reminds us that relationships, whether in love, friendship, or work, are powerful when based on respect, trust, and shared values. Now, with their bond growing stronger, Michelle and Barack were ready to face life's next challenges together. They would balance career, family, and service, proving that true partnership can help two people rise higher than they could alone. Their story is an inspiring example of how connection, respect, and shared purpose can shape a life and a legacy. Chapter 7. Balancing Family and Career. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will explore a very important part of Michelle Obama's journey, balancing family and career. We will see how she faced challenges, learned patience, and found ways to manage responsibilities. While practicing English, you will also discover that balance is not about perfection, but about giving your best in every moment. After marrying Barack Obama, Michelle faced a new challenge. She and Barack both had demanding careers. Michelle worked long hours as a lawyer, handling difficult cases and mentoring others. Barack was building his career as a community organizer and later preparing for politics. Both were ambitious, dedicated, and committed to making a difference. At the same time, they had 2 young daughters to raise. Life became a constant juggle of work, school, and family. In the early mornings, Michelle woke up before everyone else. She prepared breakfast for the family, packed lunches, and made sure her daughters were ready for school. Then she went to work, often returning late in the evening. Some nights she stayed up until midnight finishing paperwork or preparing presentations. She felt exhausted, but she never stopped trying. The chaos of daily life was real. There were sleepless nights when the children were sick, stressful days at work with urgent deadlines, and moments when it seemed impossible to manage everything. Some people told her, "You can't do it all. You must choose one thing." But Michelle refused to give up on either her career or her family. She believed that both were important and that she could find a way to make them work together. Michelle learned that balance is not perfection. It is not doing everything flawlessly. Balance is giving your best in each moment, even when things are difficult. She learned to prioritize, plan carefully, and ask for help when needed. She discovered that teamwork was essential. Barack supported her, and she supported him. Together, they shared responsibilities, solved problems, and encouraged each other to keep going. Some days were easier than others. There were quiet mornings when the children laughed at breakfast and work flowed smoothly. These moments of peace gave Michelle energy and hope. But other days were filled with chaos, tears, and stress. The contrast was strong. Chaos versus control, pressure versus peace. Michelle realized that both are part of life. Accepting the chaos while seeking calm moments helped her stay grounded. Michelle also understood the importance of self-care. She took small breaks, exercised when possible, and spent time reflecting on her goals. She taught her daughters important lessons about responsibility, resilience, and compassion. She showed them that hard work is important, but love and care for family are just as important. Through her actions, she modeled balance, patience, and perseverance. Even with all the challenges, Michelle never lost hope. She believed that every small effort mattered. A kind word to her children, a helpful suggestion to a colleague, or a thoughtful decision at work. These small actions added up. She learned that managing multiple responsibilities requires focus, patience, and courage. Through these experiences, Michelle gained a deep understanding of what true balance means. Life will never be perfect. Work will be hard, family will be demanding, and challenges will arise. But you can find control within the chaos. You can create peace within pressure. You can give your best, even when circumstances are difficult. As Michelle and Barack managed their busy lives, another challenge was beginning. Barack's political journey was about to start, changing everything for their family. Their schedules would become even busier, public attention would increase, and their lives would face new pressures. But the lessons Michelle learned while balancing family and career, patience, teamwork, and hope, would guide her through the next stage of life. Michelle's story teaches us an important lesson. Balance is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about giving your best in each moment, handling challenges with patience, and relying on teamwork. Chaos is natural, but with courage and support, you can find control. Pressure is inevitable, but hope and persistence can bring peace. Now, with her family strong and her skills and balance well practiced, Michelle was ready to face a new chapter, supporting Barack's political journey and facing the public spotlight. This new adventure would test everything she had learned and help her grow even more as a leader, a partner, and a mother. Chapter 8. The Road to the White House. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, We will follow Michelle Obama as she steps into one of the most challenging and inspiring parts of her journey, the presidential campaign. This story will help you practice English while learning about courage, leadership, and staying true to yourself, even when the world watches. When Barack decided to run for president, the Obama family knew life was about to change. Their days became longer and more demanding. They faced travel, public appearances, interviews, and constant scrutiny. Everywhere they went, people watched, judged, and commented. Michelle felt both excitement and fear. She knew this journey would test her strength, values, and courage. At first, it was difficult. The media and public sometimes questioned her choices, her style, and even her words. Strangers criticized her parenting, her work, and her appearance. Some people doubted Barack's ability to lead, and, by extension, doubted her support. The fear of judgment was real, and the pressure could have been overwhelming. Many people in her position might have stepped back, stayed quiet, or avoided attention. Michelle chose a different path. She decided to stand tall. She embraced her role as a supportive wife, a mother, and a leader in her own right. She understood that courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means acting even when you are afraid. Every speech she gave, every interview she conducted, and every public appearance she made showed grace, confidence, and authenticity. She did not try to be perfect. She was real, and people respected that. Michelle also became a source of inspiration for millions. Her story of hard work, education, and perseverance resonated with people across the country. She spoke about the importance of family, education, and service. She shared her experiences of struggle and triumph, showing that ordinary people could achieve extraordinary things. Her message was clear: challenges are part of life, but courage, effort, and hope can guide you through. Even when the campaign was exhausting, Michelle remained focused on her family. She balanced public life with private moments, making sure her daughters felt loved and supported. She showed them that leadership is not just about power. It is about responsibility, care, and resilience. Through her example, her daughters learned lessons that would last a lifetime. There were moments of doubt, of course. The campaign was filled with uncertainties. Would people support Barack? Would they accept Michelle's message? Would they respect her voice? Yet, she held faith. Faith in her family, faith in their work, and faith in the power of honesty and integrity. She learned that doubt is natural, but it does not have to stop you. Faith and courage can overcome fear. Michelle's journey during the campaign also taught her about leadership under pressure. She learned to listen, communicate, and inspire. She understood that being a public figure means showing strength while remaining relatable. She shared her thoughts and values openly, connecting with people in a genuine way. Her leadership was not about control or image. It was about connection, empathy, and honesty. The contrast was clear. Fear could have made her shrink. Doubt could have made her step back. But Michelle chose courage. She faced criticism and challenges head-on. She stood tall, supporting her husband while also expressing her own voice. This balance of support, leadership, and authenticity made her a role model for people everywhere. By the end of the campaign, the Obama family had transformed. Michelle had become a strong, respected, and inspirational figure. Her courage, faith, and determination had guided them through every obstacle. The nation watched as they moved closer to their dream, And Michelle's example showed that leadership is about heart, resilience, and belief in oneself. Finally, Barack Obama won the presidency. The journey to the White House was complete, but Michelle's role had only just begun. She was about to become the First Lady of the United States, a position that would challenge her, inspire her, and allow her to touch millions of lives. Her courage, built from years of discipline, education, and purpose, would now shine on the world stage. Michelle's story teaches us an important lesson. Courage is standing tall even when everyone is watching. Fear and doubt are natural, but faith, preparation, and determination can guide you. Every challenge faced with honesty and strength brings growth, opportunity, and inspiration. Now, with the campaign behind her and the White House ahead, Michelle was ready to take her next step, serving as the First Lady of the United States. Chapter 9. The First Lady of Hope. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will explore Michelle Obama's incredible journey as the First Lady of the United States. We will see how she used her position not just for status, but to create real change in education, health, and empowerment. This story will help you practice English while learning the lesson that true power comes from helping others rise. When Barack became president, the White House became Michelle's new home. It was a world of elegance, tradition, and visibility. Every action, word, and decision she made was watched by millions. Many people might have been overwhelmed by fame, attention, and responsibility. But Michelle had a clear focus. She knew that her role was not only to support her husband, but also to serve the American people, especially children and women. One of her most famous initiatives was the Let's Move campaign. Michelle noticed that many children in America were struggling with obesity and unhealthy habits. She wanted to help them lead healthier lives. She spoke to children in schools, visited communities, and encouraged families to eat better and exercise. She even planted a vegetable garden at the White House, showing by example that healthy food could be fun and accessible. Through her campaign, Michelle taught an important lesson. Real leadership is about action. Fame and status can feel impressive, but they are empty without purpose. She used her visibility to create programs, inspire children, and promote wellness. People admired her not just for being the First Lady, but for caring deeply and taking action to make lives better. Michelle also focused on education. She visited schools, met students, and spoke about the importance of learning. She encouraged children to work hard, read books, and believe in their dreams. She wanted them to understand that education is a key to opportunity, just as it had been for her. She shared stories from her own life, showing that success comes from perseverance, discipline, and curiosity. Her words inspired hope and determination in young hearts across the nation. Empowering girls and women was another passion of hers. Michelle spoke directly to girls, telling them that they could achieve anything they wanted. She explained that strength comes from believing in yourself, working hard, and lifting others along the way. She encouraged them to pursue education, leadership, and careers that matched their dreams. Her speeches and public appearances became a symbol of courage and possibility for young women everywhere. Of course, the life of the First Lady was not always easy. There were long hours, intense public scrutiny, and complex challenges. Some people criticized her initiatives, style, or words, but Michelle stayed focused on her purpose. She reminded herself that her work mattered more than fame or approval. She faced every challenge with dignity, resilience, and determination. Her focus was on service, not status. The contrast between fame and purpose, between status and service, was clear. Michelle could have focused only on her image, her popularity, or her influence. Instead, she chose service. She chose to help others rise, to create opportunities, and to inspire action. Her power did not come from the White House itself, but from her voice, her actions, and her dedication to others. During her time as First Lady, Michelle reached millions of people. Children learned about healthy eating. Students were inspired to study and dream. Girls realized they could lead and succeed. Families discovered new ways to support each other. Through every speech, visit, and initiative, Michelle showed that leadership is about lifting others, not elevating yourself. Her journey in the White House also reflected personal growth. Michelle had learned lessons from her childhood, education, and career. She had faced fear, doubt, and public scrutiny before. Now she applied all those lessons on a national stage. She understood that true influence comes from purpose, empathy, and courage. She proved that leadership is strongest when it serves others. As her time in the White House continued, Michelle's work became a legacy. Programs she started, speeches she gave, and initiatives she led left lasting impact. She showed the world that power and fame are not the ultimate goals. True power is using your voice, your skills, and your platform to help others rise. Her story became a model for leadership, compassion, and hope. Finally, her journey as First Lady taught us that every role in life, no matter how big or small, can be meaningful when approached with purpose and care. Fame without service fades, but service with courage and dedication lasts. Michelle's time in the White House reminds us that we all have the ability to make a difference, using our talents, values, and voices. Now, with her public service and personal growth intertwined, Michelle was ready to reflect on her journey, sharing lessons for life, learning, and leadership. This reflection will guide the next section, showing how her story can inspire everyone, everywhere. Chapter 10. Lessons from Michelle's Journey. Hello, and welcome back. In this section, we will reflect on the important lessons from Michelle Obama's incredible journey. As you listen and practice English, we will explore how her story can inspire you in learning, life, and personal growth. From education and confidence to service and love, Michelle's life teaches us that greatness grows from humility and heart. Let's begin by looking back to young Michelle in Chicago's South Side. She grew up in a small apartment with loving parents who worked hard every day. They taught her the value of education, discipline, and integrity. Michelle spent hours reading books, practicing piano, and doing her homework while other children played outside. She was just a little girl, but her dreams were big. Many people around her believed that only the rich or lucky could succeed. But Michelle proved that hard work and strong values matter more than money or luck. The first lesson we can learn is the power of education. Michelle studied diligently, faced doubts, and eventually earned a place at Princeton University. She did not let anyone's doubt stop her. Teachers, classmates, or strangers may have said, "You cannot do this." But Michelle whispered to herself, "I can." Education opened doors that fear tried to close. This is a lesson for all learners. Knowledge is power, and learning is the first step to achieving your dreams. The second lesson is confidence. At Princeton, Michelle faced cultural and racial differences. She sometimes felt invisible, unsure if she belonged. But instead of hiding, she chose to speak up. She raised her hand in class, shared her thoughts, and trusted her own voice. Confidence comes not from being fearless, but from acting despite fear. Belonging begins when you accept yourself. This lesson is important for English learners, too. Speak, even if you make mistakes. Your voice matters, and practice builds confidence over time. Next is the lesson of service and purpose. At Harvard Law, Michelle realized that real success is not only personal achievement, but also helping others. She worked with people who could not afford lawyers, guiding them with knowledge and compassion. She understood that ambition alone is empty, but ambition combined with service creates meaning. True power is using your voice and skills to help others rise. Every small act of kindness or guidance matters, creating a ripple effect that can change lives. The fourth lesson is about partnership and love. Meeting Barack Obama showed Michelle the power of true partnership. Together, they supported each other's growth, shared values, and faced challenges side by side. Working alone can achieve success, but walking together can achieve greatness. Partnerships built on respect, trust, and shared purpose help both people grow. This is a reminder for all of us. Strong relationships empower us to reach higher and face life's challenges with courage. Michelle's journey also teaches the lesson of balance. Raising children while pursuing a demanding career taught her that life will never be perfect. Chaos, pressure, and stress are natural, but patience, teamwork, and hope can create balance. Giving your best in each moment is more important than perfection. This is a valuable lesson for learners. Progress comes from steady effort, small steps, and persistence, not from instant perfection. Her time as First Lady reinforces another lesson. Purpose outweighs fame. Michelle had visibility, status, and attention, but she used these privileges to create real impact. Initiatives like Let's Move, promoting education, and empowering girls and women showed that true greatness is measured by the lives you touch, not the titles you hold. Serving others creates a legacy that lasts far beyond public recognition. Now, when we look at Michelle today, we see a woman who inspires millions around the world. From the little girl in a small Chicago apartment to a confident, compassionate leader, her journey shows that fear and limits are temporary. Hard work, courage, empathy, and love create lasting impact. The contrast is clear. Before, there was fear, doubt, and limits. After, there is confidence, influence, and positive change. As you reflect on her story, remember that greatness grows from humility and heart. Education, confidence, service, and love are not just lessons from Michelle's life. They are lessons for you, too. You can apply them in learning English, pursuing your goals, and building meaningful relationships. Every small effort counts. Every act of courage matters. Every step forward shapes your future. Finally, Michelle's story teaches us to dream big, act boldly, and care deeply. Your journey may have challenges, doubts, or fears, but like Michelle, you can overcome them. You can study, speak, help others, and walk with people who share your values. Greatness does not come from wealth or luck. It comes from discipline, courage, and heart. Let Michelle Obama's journey inspire you to start today. Speak with confidence, learn with dedication, serve with compassion, love with sincerity, and remember, every small action can create a big change. Your journey begins now, and your story can inspire others, just like Michelle's story inspires the world. Chapter 11. Conclusion. Becoming the best version of you. Hello, and welcome to the final part of our story. In this section, we will reflect on Michelle Obama's journey and discover how it can inspire you to become the best version of yourself. As you listen and practice English, remember that your journey is unique, but the lessons from Michelle's life can guide you step by step. Michelle's story began in a small apartment on the south side of Chicago. She was a little girl with big dreams, curious eyes, and a heart full of hope. She faced challenges, doubts, and limitations, just like many of us do. Yet, through education, confidence, service, and perseverance, she rose to become one of the most respected and inspiring women in the world. Her journey shows us that greatness does not come from luck, money, or status. It comes from discipline, courage, and heart. Think about your own life. Maybe you feel small, unsure, or afraid of making mistakes. That is normal. Every journey starts with a first step. Every skill starts with practice. Every goal starts with a choice. Michelle's life reminds us that even small steps can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Step by step, word by word, choice by choice, you can rise above challenges and reach your dreams. The contrast is clear. Yesterday may have been full of struggle, fear, or doubt. Tomorrow is full of potential, hope, and opportunity. Like Michelle, you can use your strengths to learn, to grow, and to help others. You can speak with confidence, act with purpose, and share your talents with the world. Your story, no matter where it begins, can inspire people around you. Remember, learning English is also part of your journey. Each word you practice, each sentence you speak, is a step forward. Each time you try, even if you make a mistake, you grow stronger and more confident. Just as Michelle never stopped learning, exploring, and improving, you can keep developing your skills and knowledge. Language, like life, is a journey of small but meaningful steps. Now take a moment to imagine yourself in the future. Picture the person you want to be: confident, kind, knowledgeable, and courageous. Imagine using your skills, your voice, and your choices to make a difference. Michelle's story shows that it is possible. Your journey is waiting, and it begins today. So, take inspiration from Michelle Obama. Believe in yourself, stay committed, and act with heart. Your potential is limitless. Keep learning English, keep growing as a person, and remember that every small effort matters. Like Michelle, your story can inspire others. Step by step, word by word, choice by choice, you can become the best version of you.